Hi, changing the subject of the formula, question 3 and 4. So in this question, we're trying to make x the subject of the formula. So what we're doing at the moment, we are squaring x. So in our BODMAS rules, no brackets, but O for powers of. Or we could say BIDMAS, where the I would stand for indices, which is basically powers. So we're squaring x. Then we're going to multiply it by a. And then we're going to add on c. So remember, guys, BODMAS, brackets, powers of, divide, multiply, add, subtract. So we need to see what we're doing to x here, and we're going to undo all of those things that we're doing to it. So again, so we've squared x, we've multiplied it by a, and we've added on c. So we need to undo that. So the first thing we undo is the last thing that we've done. So we've added on c. So to undo adding c, I'm going to subtract c from both sides. So c minus c will be 0. So I'm left with ax squared equals r minus c. The next thing we need to undo is multiplying by a. Again, because that's the second last thing we've done. Then after that, we're going to do the inverse of squaring. So I'm going to divide both sides by a here. So divide that side by a and that side by a. A divided by a is 1, so I'm left with 1x squared here, just left with x squared. So r minus c divided by a. Now, how do we undo squaring? So all the hundreds of Pythagoras questions we've done over 2nd, 3rd and 4th year, we know that if we need to find the square root of, we know that if we need to undo squaring, we just square root. I'm going to square root the left-hand side of the equation. Okay, so what I'm really doing, I'm saying I'm going to square root this side and also square root that side, because the square root of x squared would just be x. And x would be the square root of everything underneath the square root sign there. And again, what I should really be doing is writing that with x on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side of the equal sign. Question 4. Again, same idea. What are we doing? We're trying to make h the subject, so I'm cubing h, and then adding on m. I'm dividing all of that by 2. So the top of a fraction, the fraction kind of keeps everything on the top of the fraction line there together. So I've cubed h, I've added on m, I've then divided by 2. So I need to undo that. So how do we divide by 2? Well, we'll just multiply both sides by 2, we'll double both sides. So I'm going to say I've got 2 of absolutely everything here, and that'll be the same as 2 lots of p. So if I've got 2 of something divided by 2, I've just got 1 of them. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So basically that and that cancel out. So I'm left with 2p equals m plus h cubed. And then we need to undo adding m. So again, subtract m from both sides. So m minus m is 0. We're left with h cubed. Subtract m on that side as well. And then we need to undo cubing, so that, I'm saying undo, the inverse of cubing is to cube root. So if I cube root that side and that side, I'll be left with h equals the cube root of 2p minus m.